Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and today Apple released new AirPods firmware updates for AirPods Pro 2 with both Lightning and USB-C, bringing it to version 7B19. This is in preparation for iOS 18.1, where it adds some new hearing features as well. So this is something that's in preparation for the update next week. However, by the time you're watching this, it could already be out. This will also work with iOS 18.2, and you can even install this using iOS 18.0.1 in preparation for that update. So first, let me show you how to check the version, then install it, then we'll talk about new features. So let's go ahead and connect these AirPods Pro 2 with Lightning. So we'll go into our settings, we'll see our AirPods here, go into those, scroll to the bottom, and you'll actually see the build number, which is the previous one, 7A305. These haven't updated yet, but the new version, 7B19, is already installed on my AirPods Pro 2 with USB-C. So you can see the version number there. Let me connect these AirPods. We'll give it a second to connect. We've got them here. We'll go into them. Again, scroll to the bottom, and you'll see the new version of 7B19. If we go into this, we can also see the case version of 7092.0, and let me know if yours is the same case version. Sometimes they update a little bit later than the AirPods themselves. Now, in order to install the update, while there's no manual way to do this, make sure they're connected to your phone, that they're over 50% charged, as that seems to help. And once they are, typically you can just make sure they're in the case, close the case, set your phone down close to them, lock the phone, and walk away. In about 15 minutes or so, they typically update on their own. If they're not updating, sometimes the way I get this to work a little bit better is I'll go ahead and listen to some music for about 30 seconds. I'll place them in my ears, listen to music for 30 seconds. As long as they're charged, I'll place them again back in the case, set it down again, lock it, walk away, come back, and then they update. I would love to see an update button, but that's how you have to update these for now. Now, once your AirPods are updated, go back in, and again, you can verify this. Just go into your settings, scroll to the bottom, and you'll see the latest version, 7B19. So as long as you have that version, you're good to go. And once you're on iOS 18.1 or 18.2 betas, you'll have new features depending on your overall region. Now, I know this is available in the United States and Canada and some other regions around the world, but it's not available everywhere. Apple does not specify, though, which regions are or are not available. So the first thing is hearing protection. You'll see that right at the top here. And if we go into hearing protection, we have loud sound reduction. And what it says here is loud sound reduction can actively reduce your exposure to loud environment sounds in transparency and adaptive modes. Loud sound reduction is not active in off mode. So if you're using these and maybe you have transparency or adaptive on, then this will enable if there's sort of a loud environment outside. Hearing assistance is pretty much the big thing here, where we basically can use these as hearing aids. If we go into a hearing assistance, we have an option for hearing aid, and it says if you have mild or moderate hearing loss, AirPods Pro can work as a hearing aid to boost voices and sounds around you. Then we also have media assist. It says AirPods Pro can make adjustments that improve the clarity of music, video, and calls. In order to use this, you can use prior test results if you have them, or take a hearing test. Again, you can take the hearing test from the main menu as well. So let's go ahead and I'll place these in my ears, and then we'll go to take a hearing test. And you have to be 18 years or older to take this, and you'll see hearing loss is common and can get worse over time. A 5-minute test can identify if you have hearing loss. If you have mild or moderate hearing loss, this can boost that sound. So we'll go ahead and get started. Then you actually have to confirm that you're over 18 years old. It says, are you currently experiencing allergies, a cold, or infection in your ears or sinuses? Yes or no? And then you have to say, have you been in a loud environment like a concert or construction site in the last 24 hours? Tap no, and then you'll be able to provide some test results. So you want to make sure that your ears aren't ringing too loud or maybe from a concert so that this is accurate. We'll go to next. Now it says find a quiet place where you can focus and take the test. Since I'm talking, it says there's too much noise, so let me be quiet for just a moment here. Once it says noise okay, we place your AirPods in your correct ears, then tap next. It wants you to adjust the position and depth properly. And once you do that, it will actually test them. So let's go ahead and tap next. Now it says AirPods will check the fit in each ear and measure background noise. It says the fit is good and it's quiet enough to test your hearing. It says don't remove or adjust your AirPods until you finish the hearing test. So we'll go ahead and tap next, and I'll start the test. It will also enable Do Not Disturb. Now it's saying the test will play tones at different volumes and frequencies. Each tone will pulse 3 times, and you can play a sample of that. Then it says during the test, listen carefully and tap the screen each time you hear a tone. So we'll go ahead and tap next. It's okay if you miss a tone, you'll have another chance to hear it. So we'll go ahead and tap start test, and then I'll go ahead and listen for tones and tap the screen as I hear them. Now the left ear is done. It says right ear is next. Now it says test complete and show results. So it actually says hearing test. Your test indicates little to no hearing loss. These are slightly different than before. You can take it again. We can see details. So if we show details, you'll see 5 left, 4 right, and we have more information about that. So it says at less than 25 decibels of loss, you should have almost no problem hearing. You can hear a whisper. So it's telling the overall decibel levels, and then left average, right average, and then it gives more information. Below it says no changes needed and keep your hearing healthy. So you can learn more about it or tap done. So it looks like I'm good to go, but if you're not, it will give you different updates or enable this so that you can hear conversation louder, just like you can with conversational awareness and more within your AirPods. Now, those are the major updates in this update, and you'll see the release notes here, version 7B19, where again, it's for iOS 18.1 and iPadOS 18.1 and later with AirPods Pro 2 with either USB-C or with Lightning. So we have the Apple hearing test, the hearing aid feature, and the hearing protection. And then you'll see below, it actually says it requires AirPods Pro 2 with version 7B19, and all features may not be available for all countries or regions. So I know some people were excited to try this, but since this is something that Apple worked on to get approved in the United States, they may have to do that around the world like they do with some other health features. As far as other updates, Apple doesn't say that there's bug fixes or improvements like previous updates. However, I did notice this seems to connect very fast. So if we go into our settings, you'll see they're still connected. If I put them back, reconnect them, they disconnect and reconnect fast, and they also switch quickly between Mac, your iPhone, and iPad. So I haven't really had any issues this time around since this firmware update, and it seems like it's doing pretty well. So every time it works there. Of course, it's not showing up here. There, it just took a second, but I've not had it actually fail since I installed this update. I've had no issues on the computer, and as far as overall sound quality, I did listen to some music with it. It sounds the same as before, so I don't really notice any differences there. I would not expect noise cancellation to change at all, or transparency mode. However, with those adaptive modes enabled, that should help quite a few people if you have that enabled. So again, this is going to come out with iOS 18.1, probably Monday of next week. So if you're watching this after then, you'll already have it, but probably on Monday the 28th. But we can expect a lot of announcements next week, as Apple actually announced that on Twitter today. So we'll have a bunch of announcements to go along with this, along with maybe some different things we didn't expect, Max and more. And you'll see on Twitter, Apple's Senior Vice President of Marketing, Greg Joswiak, said, "Mac your calendars. We have an exciting week of announcements ahead starting on Monday morning. Stay tuned." So we're waiting for all of those to come out. And again, this will be one of those announcements that it will be available. Now, as far as anything else, I would not expect any other changes to AirPods. Unfortunately, AirPods Max don't get this, even though they were just released, but they have an older chipset in them. AirPods 4 don't, with the active noise cancellation, as they're not fully sealed in your ears. However, I would like to see a solution with that as well. Now, I would also like to see an update button here to make it easier to update your AirPods, or just to make us aware as to when they're actually released, and then maybe show us those new features and notes just like they do with software updates. But other than that, I think it's a pretty significant update and hopefully will help a lot of people. Let me know if you've updated your AirPods already, if you've tried out the feature, if it's working for you, and if it works well as a hearing aid as well. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Of course, if you'd like to get your hands on this wallpaper, I'll link it in the description like I normally do. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.